Welcome to part 3 of the Salesforce demo. This video will focus on creating a federation server and building MDM with Salesforce data. The first step is to register the EIQ superadapters as remote data sources with the EIQ server. This is a simple specification that asks for the server where the EIQ superadapters are, the user type and credentials, and then the VDS. Once all of the superadapters have been registered, return to the EIQ Virtual Data Sources tab. Here we will create the EIQ Federation server. Creating the Federation server is very similar to creating the EIQ superadapters. The difference is in the data source pairing. For the Federation server, select the remote data sources instead of the regular data sources. Since these are already pointing to a VDS, we don't have to manually pair them with an index. Once all of the remote data sources are added, go to the Mapping tab. Now we need to use the mappings to define our entities for creating master data. Select Edit Entity Data from the bottom of the tab. Entities use the standard data view columns as attributes to build master data. For example, we are using the account name column to define the customer, city, state, and street to define address. The Show Entity Mapping button shows the number of attributes that are used to define each entity. Once we have our entities defined, we can move on to configuring matching rules. Matching rules are the criteria that entities must meet before they are merged together. When we configure the matching rules for people, it's best to use a fuzzy match. This way we can specify metaphone on names to catch records that might be the same person, but with a different spelling or a typo. We can also specify the specific weight that attributes will have when deciding what to merge. You'll need to make sure to select Generate Master Data and Update Master Data Schema automatically. For other entities like email and address, we can use Exact Match. This way we get the exact values. Again, the person entity is trying to match records pertaining to people, so we want to use the fuzzy match option. If we have multiple attributes defining an entity, we can specify how many of them we want to use as binning attributes. Matching attributes can also be given the binning plus option. Once everything has been configured, press Start to build the MDM. Depending on the number of records and the matching rule specifications, the MDM build could take a while. When the MDM build is finished, we can see the generated MDM columns under each of the VDSs in the Mappings tab. These columns will also need to be mapped to the same standard data view in each VDS to query the results.